Last time on Just Roll With It, the Trepid adventurers had left a very odd encounter in the woods and were making their way to a watch post of the Children of the Light because Lance is not well liked by his commander and he gets the crap jobs and he drug his friends along. You proceed a little bit down the road and you see what appears to be a tinker caravan. And the head of this caravan, his name's Raylan, and he is very suave, very charming, but something is a little off. And you sort of spend the day learning about things. Amena makes a new friend who seems oddly worried about this blouse that she wanted to make. And then the group spends the night. And I wanted to add a note here. During the night, I believe you all took watch, or one of you took watch.
Lance did.
Okay, so Lance would have seen, if it wasn't mentioned before, that bright red light on the horizon appeared again. You definitely saw that last night. And then in the morning, while you are all having breakfast, you sort of look around and you realize that Raylan is sort of an older gentleman, but he's decently attractive and very charismatic. All of the other members of this Tinker Caravan are young, very, very pretty, and they seem very, very scared of him. And you hadn't really decided what to do, although Amena was very vocal in wanting to GTFO and move on.
Yeah, he was creepy.
Yes. That's all I've been doing for the last 2 days is editing that story. So yes.
Okay, good. I got it right.
Yes. And over the course of the week, I have been very much pondering how exactly I can rescue the entire group because I really don't like this guy. Here's an actual question about what had happened in the preceding night when I was hanging out around the fire smoking weed with, Two Rivers to back with all these people with my flamey fingers.
Yes.
Did I in the course of all that socializing, would I have noticed anyone who was skittish, scared, out of countenance, like the chick that made the blouse?
There would have been a couple of them. You probably wouldn't have. It would have been. You probably didn't get so high that you were completely oblivious. So you probably would have filed it away.
Okay, so yeah, I'm very. I want to set something on fire. Let's be real. I want to set something on fire.
So Lance sees the red light on the horizon during the night, but the camera for this episode is going to open on a different scene.
You are listening to Just Roll With It. Jonathan is your lore master. Christine plays the channeler Amena Valare. Neil plays the Ogier Quercus, son of Ilex. Aradia plays the channeler Pimur Dothorin Akel. And Fate plays the Child of the Light, Lance Akashi.
The camera comes up on a small lake. An eagle swoops down, snatches up a fish, and flies off. And the camera briefly follows the eagle down a well-trodden cart path. And underneath the eagle, we can see what looks to be a well-worn, rickety farm cart piled with baskets and rough bags full of different fruits and vegetables. The eagle passes overhead and the camera shifts down and you see an older man with long hair bound with a leather cord, sort of a 5 o'clock shadow, holding a slow pair of horses with an older woman sitting next to him. Standing behind him, looking out over his shoulder, is a tall man with dark hair, and he's just kind of looking around and just sort of observing the passing wildlands. And then, bam, a potato hits him on the back of the head. And he kind of turns around and says, "Jack, knock it off." He's talking to a younger man who's seated at the back end of the wagon, who looks up and looks around with the expression of, "Who, me?" And all we see is the upper portion of a body as he's holding somebody in one of these baskets of potatoes and tomatoes and other vegetables. And he's like, it wasn't me. It was him, pointing to the person he's holding, who's sort of struggling and trying to get out of there. And finally, a hand flails up, and he gets knocked backwards. And we see a young Pimur trying to breathe.
Asshole.
Jack immediately brings his hands up. I didn't mean anything by it. You said you like potatoes. I was just showing you the potatoes.
Show you a potato, and I try to punch him.
Your hand, as you cock your hand back to deliver the punch, you feel it grabbed as your older brother Ramon kind of grabs it and stops you and says, "Pimur, you know better. Why are you always instigating trouble?"
It wasn't me. It's Jack's fault. Jack is always starting everything. He's always picking on me.
I do nothing of the sort. That is assassination of character. I demand recompense.
Give you recompense, and then other fist.
At this point, the older man who's holding the reins goes, "I will leave you two by the side of the road if I hear anything else." The wagon continues, and eventually you see a small road sign that's hastily been scratched, and we see the word Mind. Mind is a moderate town in Murindy, mostly known for their tempers. The wagon pulls into town, and you see lots of other people sort of going about their business, and there appears to be a farmer's market being set up. And your father, Peter, brings the horses to a halt. "All right, start unloading the goods. I'll be back in a minute." Hops down, and he walks over to talk to somebody who looks like they may be in charge, or maybe a merchant vendor of some kind.
Okay, I try to trip Jack as he gets out of the wagon.
Roll me a dexterity check.
Okay. 20.
Okay, so you stick your foot out surreptitiously, and he's trying to... Jack is the ladies' man. He sees a couple of attractive ladies, and he's not paying attention to the fact that you just stuck your foot out, and he proceeds to try and do a flourish as he gets off the cart and ends up with his face in a pile of horse dung because he wasn't paying attention. He sputters and wipes his face off, and he just gets the evilest grin as he starts bawling the horse dung.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. I'm back here on the other side of the wagon. looking for my own supply of ammo as I go.
Roll me a perception check.
14.
Okay, so you're scrambling around looking for your own pile of manure or something to throw at him, and you back up and you kind of bump into somebody, and you just hear, "Oh, it's you."
Fuck. Turn around.
And of a rough height with you, with sort of bushy hair and a goatee that's about 3 strands of hair that he's very proud of, is Donald Mowley. And you don't get along with Donald Mowley in the slightest.
Not in the slightest. He's an arrogant jackass.
And he sort of pushes you and says, "Hey, Pipsqueak, what are you doing here? Aren't you too poor to be here?"
I'm gonna go at him with my fists. I'm just gonna launch at him. I'm gonna yell for Jack and then launch myself at him.
"Hey, Jack!" And then you lunge. Roll me a d20.
10.
Okay.
Damn it.
So you swing, and he just catches your fist in his palm and swings down. I don't have a d20 on me, so...
What? How do you not have a
this.
D20 on you?
Seriously.
All my d20s are at the other house.
Your dedication is lacking, sir.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
Well, he definitely misses. He tries to headbutt you and ends up overextending too much, giving you an option to get him again if you need to. Roll me another d20.
Fuck. 4.
Okay, you're just sort of, at this point, you're just kind of struggling with each other. And yeah, it's very much like the clouds with the fists and Looney Tunes style. And a second later, a big, powerful hand comes down on your shoulder and on Donald's shoulder. And you look up and you see Ramon again. And he's like, "You two better knock it off.
He started it.
Go unload the vegetables. And you, Donald Mowley, better get the hell out of here before I go tell your pa on you and it leaves another stripe off your ass."
I'm annoyed, but I will go be chastened and do my chores.
And as you're walking away, Donald says something under his breath, clearly meant for you. Doesn't look like anybody else heard it, but you definitely hear, well, if somebody wasn't such a chicken.
Oh, motherfucker. So that makes me extremely angry. And so angry that
Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. 12.
Okay. You're seeing red. You're just imagining red, hot flames at him, flames, whoosh. All of a sudden, you find yourself on the ground, which is weird. And as you kind of get up, there's a brown circle of soot all around you. Part of the wagon is black, and Donald is on the ground holding his face.
Fuck.
Screaming.
Oh, fuck.
Someone's running over there basically slapping him. And as he sits up, you see that he no longer has any eyebrows. His prized goatee is absolutely gone. And he's just kind of staring wide-eyed in fear at you. And a whole crowd has gathered, and they're all staring at you, and you don't know why.
No, I don't. He looked really silly, but I don't know what just happened.
And all of a sudden your dad's there, and he's kind of, are you okay?
I'm fine.
What was that?
I don't know. But did someone throw something? I didn't see.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. 22.
Okay. So then you hear something in this crowd. You hear, get out of my way. And it's a little tiny high-pitched voice. And a woman emerges from the crowd, and she's way shorter than you. She's probably 5 foot. She's got brown hair in a braid that's then wrapped around her head in some weird beehivey looking thing. And she's got a long flowing dress with embroidered yellow flowers all over it. And she goes, where is she? Where is she? Where did she go? And people are kind of looking around. The woman, the child, who did this? And people are kind of pointing at you.
What?
She's looking at you.
I didn't do anything.
What is your name?
Pimur Dothoran Akel. I didn't do anything.
This can't be right. And she's staring at you. She's looking at you, but she's not looking at you. She's like looking above you and around you. What just happened before this? What happened?
That Popinjay was insulting me. We were just fighting. And then I went and pulled me away. We went to walk away. And then next thing I know, asshole has his face on fire.
I am at a loss for words. My name is Manoli. Your parents are here, and your pa steps forward. And she says, you have to understand, I've only been outside the tower for 6 months.
You're an Aes Sedai?
Yes, I should have said that first. You may call me Manoli Sedai.
What's going on?
What to do? Here. Oh, you should take this. And she reaches into a pouch and pulls out a smaller pouch, which clinks of coin. And she kind of hands it to your father. And he says, I, Sedai, no disrespect intended, but what? And Manoli's like, Pimur must come with me.
What?
There's child, you are an anomaly.
What's she saying?
Just step back, please. Step back. And she kind of motions, and the crowd, knowing now that she is an Aes Sedai, starts moving back and getting out of her way. She's kind of excitedly running around and looking at things, and you can see her eyes darting like she's doing sort of mental math. And she says, Pimur, come stand here with me.
And I'm looking at my doll like, seriously? should I do what the Aes Sedai is saying? I mean, I know they're Aes Sedai, but like, And
he kind of, Aes Sedai, this is highly irregular. And Manoli's just like in a fluster. And she says, you may write care of Pimur of the Yellow Asha of the White Tower, but this needs to be a thing that happens immediately. So She looks up and she finishes doing her mental math, and she sort of just twitches a finger, and a silver line appears in the middle of the air, which rotates into a round circle. And you see an amazingly large city before you with a massive white edifice in the background. And she just grabs your hand and says, "Come on, this is the start of something. I'm not sure what yet, but we need to get you here." And she jerks you through the gateway.
And I have a chance to see my family one last time before it closes.
And then it shuts.
What the actual fuck just happened to me?
I never thought about how fast you could actually get someone who you discovered had the power. Holy crap, way to kidnap people.
I was just fucking kidnapped.
And now we fade up the next morning, and Pimur is watching all of these other individuals who are in a situation they probably didn't choose and not liking what he sees.
No. Oh, fuck. That would be such a fucked up day. Was such a fucked up day. So, why are they with him? Amena, did you talked to one of these people last night. Why are they with this guy?
I mean, she didn't really tell me a whole lot about why she was with him. I mean, if I had to guess, he seems pretty charismatic. Some people are just really good at holding other people who are maybe not very strong in their thrall. And it looks like maybe that's sort of what he's done. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like I saw a couple of people that would be very accurate to describe them that way last night around the fire. I'm wondering if there's some way we can break his thrall over them somehow.
I don't really know, because the danger with trying to do something like that is that they've probably developed a pretty fierce loyalty to him and feel obligated to him. And so if we try to break them out, they probably won't want to come in.
What if we got rid of him?
What are you suggesting?
Guess isn't nice to die. I really probably shouldn't set someone's wagon on fire with the power.
I mean, probably not. We should probably not set people's things on fire if we can help it.
Do you think he deserves it, though?
That's not really for us to decide.
Is it, though?
No, it's really not. And if he were to disappear, it would have to be without anyone else seeing. Otherwise, they'll probably rip us to shreds.
And you murder hobos.
I'm just saying, like, what if...
Took us 12 episodes when we got there.
Is there some way we can discredit him to them? Is there some way we can... I guess the ogre kind of already tried last night with that philosophy debate.
I mean, personally, I think just leaving is the best course of action. I don't think... If we did anything extreme, I don't think it would end well. And I don't want to end up having to kill all of these poor, delusional people.
They wouldn't rip us to shreds. They're tinkers. Pansies, anyway.
Never underestimate the ferocity of people who are blindly following someone else. Hero worship could be a pretty powerful thing.
I want to know what he has on them. Why? It's the tinker philosophy. I really just want to heat up all of the metal parts of his wagon until the thing goes up in flames.
I just kind of try to put my arm around you even though you're way up here.
It's like my elbows in your face.
It's okay.
What if we just... Fuck.
I know. It's hard, but sometimes you just have to walk away and then help in the ways that you can help. If any of them want to come with us, if they, choose of their own volition to ask if they could come along with us, I think that would be a different matter, but we can't make them leave.
I think you're right. They have broken no laws that I am aware of. Lance, if we made a case of this to your seniors, would there be anything that could be done? Is there any law that we can cite that they could hold this monarch to account for, or would it just be our word saying that he's a bad human? And let's face it, lots of humans are bad humans.
Hey!
To know about laws, would that be history?
Yeah, I'd say that'd be history.
20. All right.
Wow.
Can we get him murdered?
No.
Do I know any laws that he broke?
No, you don't think he doesn't have any loopholes. Technically, the Tinkers are a sort of pseudo-religion or a way of life. So they don't, even if he was to have, say, weapons in the cart, that doesn't violate any laws. That just violates the way of the Tinkers, which is not under your purview anyway. So he, as far as you know, as of tonight or this morning, he has not violated anything that he could be called on.
So I'm going to look over at the Ogier and be like, you know, there's no law against being an asshole.
You're so right.
I want to go find one of the people that I was talking with the prior night, the preceding night.
Okay.
And ask him how he likes being in this group and if he's ever thought of going another way.
Okay. So if everyone's sort of doing their breakfasty things, Raylan still hasn't woken up. And so you see people sort of taking care of things. They're, stoking the coals of the fire, that sort of thing. You do remember one guy from last night. His name is Garen. And he's sort of got shorter hair that would be a mohawk if he tried, but it's definitely got that sort of, I put it in a mohawk 3 days ago and it's fine look. And his mustache is pretty thick, and he curls it a couple of times near the end with wax for a distinctly hipster look.
Such a hipster.
Oh, yeah.
I've met these people.
I live in Seattle. I'm surrounded by examples every day. And he's sort of just chilled by the wagon, relaxing. He doesn't have any Two Rivers tobacco or anything. He just seems to be looking out, listening to the birds, just kind of being totally alone with his thoughts or whatever. So you could definitely walk up to him and start a conversation with him.
Yeah, just like, why are you even here? Have you ever thought of going somewhere else than this group?
I could. I was a fair hand with a lathe back in the day. I know some craft, but we get fed, we get to hang out.
What does he want from you? What does he get out of leading this group?
That's different with every one of us, I think.
Well, what about with you?
I fix the wagons, he feeds me, party. Not a bad lifestyle.
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems kind of boring.
It depends on what your definition of boring is. Sometimes you don't need to be the exciting. Sometimes the exciting can be all up here in your head.
Fine, whatever. So I'm going to walk away, and I want to make a little firecrack of power, behind him. Just a little, like a snap it.
roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. And
you're irritated. You have a target, so I'm not going to give you the penalty for this.
18.
Okay, yeah, no, you're and it kind of startles him, and he's kind of looking around, checking himself, did he sit on anything? All of his parts are intact,
yeah.
What? He's just really confused.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back over to Amena and be like, "You're right. Some people don't want to be saved."
See, I told you, and I'm gonna have that older, wiser sort of face, yes, I told you.
Okay, then I'm gonna make the snap under your skirts too.
Oh, hey now. Not cool.
That escalated
You
quickly.
keep your snaps to yourself there, mister. Don't go to sleep tonight.
I'm just gonna start walking. I'm just gonna start walking down the road. I'm just fed up with everybody. I think the ogre's right. People suck.
Man, you're sassy. Do you have some sort of potty or what? What's going on with you?
No, I was thinking about a certain traumatic day in my past most of the night. I'll have you know.
Oh, do tell.
No.
Well.
If you must know.
No, I don't need to know. If you don't want to tell me, don't tell me. It's fine.
All right,
it's fine.
Technically, you already know because we've been bunkmates for the better part of a year. So.
Oh, that.
I'm gonna write up and be like, I want to know. I want to know.
It's none of your business. Go away.
You know what? You go away, Amena.
This is I said I talk.
From novices? I said I talk from novices.
We're not listening.
So I guess we're taking off without using arson to free a cult.
I want a dog, though. Can I steal a dog?
Ooh. I am super okay with trying to steal a dog.
Right?
I'm a little confused about how you're okay with it, except for the part where they're really floofy.
I love them. And it's big, and it's almost big enough to be like a horse. So I could throw a saddlebag of my slippers over this dog.
I mean, you do need a pack dog for your slippers. This is true.
I wouldn't do that, though. I really want a dog.
So, are there any puppies? Have they had a litter of puppies in this caravan recently?
There are no puppies. They are all at least a couple of years old, but there's several of them. So you don't know if they're just hanging around because they're getting fed, or if they belong to somebody.
All right,
or
man. Go for it. Let's get us a dog.
I mean, there was one that I was just kind of hanging out with last night, and petting its fur, because they're so big that when you sit down by the fire, their heads are like right here with your head almost. So I was just like petting it and like scratching its little ears. We became really good friends, and I think if I lured it with like a little bit of dried meat, he would come with me.
Do you remember the bear? Why don't you just wrap it in flows of air and then slip it underneath the things on our cart and just keep it quiet with those mufflers you put in his ears overnight?
I could make the dog invisible.
Yeah. Just hide it that way.
That's a good idea.
At this point, Lance is going to turn around and go grab the horse in the cart and just start continuing down the road.
So I could take a flow of air and make like sort of a little leash and collar,
Ooh,
and then
yeah.
wrap like a little muzzle around its muzzle.
Well, it probably wouldn't want to walk with us, so you'd have to pack its legs up underneath it as well. Like, put it on one of those hover sleds from... No, that's Star Wars, not Wheel of Time. And then... Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, it's like Back to the Future. Yeah. What about your cloak? So I could wrap it up in air, and then we could take your new cloak and sort of bundle it in your cloak to make it almost look like a bundle of...
Yes.
clothing
Like
and
a
stuff.
Cleopatra dog
Perfect.
thing?
Yes, it is like a Cleopatra dog thing.
I could carry it over my shoulder, no problem.
I like that idea.
Just wrap it in the cloak, pretend it's a
Yes.
bundle of clothes or wood that we're taking back to
Yeah.
the cart. Okay.
Okay, let's do that.
Why isn't Ogier okay with stealing?
We're liberating him.
I'm liberating from this despicable human.
So, you and I are going to have to sit down at some point and discuss what liberating really is?
I'll take very good care of him. And he already loves me, so we belong together. So how do I do this? Can I just like wrap him up?
Because that didn't sound cultish at all.
The difference between our cult and everyone else's cult is we're right.
And there's only one dog in my cult, so I don't really think that qualifies. This is just like a rehoming effort.
We're a monodogist cult.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, you could do it with all of them.
I'm going to need a perception check to find that specific dog, unless you're just looking for whatever dog.
Well, I want that specific dog.
Okay, so I'll need a perception check.
14.
Okay, so you do find that particular dog. He's sort of just wandering around. It looks like maybe he was chasing voles or something earlier and just sort of walking around, and his ears do perk up when he sees you. So now I'm going to need an animal handling check to see if you can naturally convince it to come over with like a piece of dried meat or whatever.
A 4.
Doesn't seem like he's wanting to come over. Maybe he just ate. You don't know. But his ears are perked up. He's watching you, and he's watching you intently. But he's not coming over yet.
Well, I shared my breakfast with him. Perhaps that was a bad idea.
Maybe the cult is just more like all-encompassing with its tentacles than
I'm
not.
sure. Okay, so do we go to phase 2 of our plan then, Quercus?
I suggest you put one of those flows of air to bind its mouth shut.
Okay.
Then my lack of knowledge of the power is shocking, I'm afraid. But possibly you just hold it in place and then move it towards.
No, this has to be a coordinated
Hold
effort.
it in place and move it. Hold it in place, but move it.
What I mean, let me describe to you, Lance. Hold its legs in place. Just lock its legs. This sounds ridiculous. I can't even describe it to you.
Just slide it towards me with its legs locked
That's
in place.
exactly it. Lock its legs in place, standing upright, and slide it towards you.
That wouldn't look weird at all. Can you do compulsion on an animal?
Can you picture like the old cartoons with it just...
Yes,
Exactly.
that's exactly it.
Well, I could cast a minor illusion.
Of a cat.
Yeah.
And then it could chase the cat.
Yes. Towards the wagon.
Oh, yeah.
If it scares this horse and I go flying off because my animal handling sucks, someone is sleeping outside away from the fire.
Whatever. I don't care. I'll have my dog. He'll keep me warm. I could do that. Could I cast a minor illusion?
So with the minor illusion, they don't make noise and they don't move. So what would just wanting to make an illusion of the dog staying there and then
And then take the dog.
okay. I mean, it's roll me an Arcana check.
All right.
Gather ye source.
7.
No.
Dude, come on.
The die is telling me, we're supposed to have you roll a 13 Arcana to embrace the source.
We need to advance our training, man. Bullshit.
Yeah. I want this dog. Okay, what if I did a minor illusion? Can I go again? Can I try to embrace the source again or no?
I mean, there's nothing stopping you.
I say, so are we walking up the road as this is happening?
Lance is getting further and further away. Like, there's no doubt. I don't want to see liberation because then I have to report it, and I'm already on the shit list. I mean, the climbing the ladder list.
All right, well, I'm growing bored.
I'm trying to think if I could sort of sweet talk someone into giving me a dog. Because my deception's pretty high. I have pretty high charisma.
Ooh.
So
I have an idea. I am able to create a cloud of fog. I'm not sure how I do this because I'm more in tune with trees than the weather, but I am able to create a cloud of fog that would spread for 120 feet around any particular point. Now, this campsite is not much more than 120 feet. I could create this illusion, and then you could move the dog towards us without anyone seeing.
It probably wouldn't actually be fog. It would. You might have like dried leaves or herbs or something for flavor's sake. It would function the same way, but it would maybe not be an actual cloud of fog unless you were mixing things together or something.
Just try to talk someone out of a dog.
yeah, I think I'll just ask someone very nicely if I could please take one of the dogs because they are a phenomenal specimen. I've never seen such an amazing looking animal before.
You're gonna try and go find somebody?
I am. I'm going to try to find someone. Actually, I think I'm going to go find the young woman who made the blouse for me.
Okay.
And so I just kind of like walk through the camp until I spot her.
And she's cleaning breakfast dishes. She's occupied, but not with the group. She's running back and forth to a small stream nearby. Then she's sort of cleaning off everybody's, used tableware.
Okay. And so I just sort of walk up to her and I say, hey, by the way, thank you again for that beautiful blouse.
No, thank you. It was nice to do it again.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Well, you know what? You're very talented. You really should be doing more things like that. We had such a lovely time last night, and I just wanted to mention to you the dogs that you have I've never seen animals like that before.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yes. They're so beautiful. And where can I find one?
They were here before I got here, so I'm not sure where he picked them up from, but they're very friendly. And she kind of looks around. I don't think they would miss it if one went and disappeared.
Are you sure?
I mean, they're not mine to give, but I feel like it's the least I can do for you helping me.
Oh, I would love that so much. I've been wanting a dog for such a long time, but I've just never really found the right one. And last night there was one that I felt like I really bonded with this animal, and I would be able to take excellent care of it. Is there anything that I could give you in return?
Oh, no, don't worry about it. If anyone notices, and I'm sure they probably won't, I'll just say that it ran off and never came back.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I hate to just leave you with nothing because you've been so kind to me. So since you won't take anything, if you're ever near Tarvalon and you are in any kind of trouble or need anything, give them my name and someone will contact me and I will come and help you.
Tarvalon, that's, okay. That's great. And she kind of thinks for a minute. Oh, and wait right here. And she kind of goes off and she disappears for a second. And she comes back and she hands you a bundle. They love these. It appears to be a bundle of like sort of, it looks like jerky or something sort of twisted into like knots or something. Dog treats essentially.
Wow. Thank you so much. We haven't known each other very long, but you've been a very good friend to me in this short amount of time. And I really appreciate it.
It was really nice to meet you, and you've said some very important things to me. And I think when somebody wakes up, when we move on, because we're probably moving on today, I will want to bring a couple of things up with him because it's important to do things that you like, and I know what I like. So
well, good for you, and may the light be with you. Thank you,
and you as well. Thank you.
And so
If she turns up.
Yes.
I'd say if she turns up dead from like arguing with the cult, I'm blaming you. Just saying.
Blame away. So I'm just going to walk back and I'm going to walk up to Quercus and be like, okay, so remember the friend that I told you about that I made last night? Mm-hmm. Well, I talked to her about the dogs and she said that she didn't think anybody would mind if one of them went missing, and then she gave me this bundle. And so I kind of hold out the bundle and open it up a little bit and show you that inside are dog treats.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did her a good service last night.
Well, and she did a good service for me too. She's pretty special. I hope that she finds her way.
Did you invite her to come with us?
I did not. I didn't think that she was sort of ready for that type of invitation yet, but I did tell her if she's ever in trouble to reach out and that I would come and help her.
Of course we would. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
So
All of
should we
us.
try to maybe like make a little trail? Like how should we... You're pretty good with animals. What should we do?
Perhaps the two of us should sneak out of camp behind the trail we came in on, and then walk over to the road, and then meet Lance and Pimur there, and we could lure the dog with the dog treats. I think that would work.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
So this requires Pimur and Lance to draw attention to themselves and start packing up to leave, I think.
But I'm already like a quarter of the mile down the road.
Yeah, he's already hopped on his horse and taken the wagon and left.
Yeah, like I told you guys, Pimur and I are like, let's hang out. Teach me more.
Once it was like talking to people and socializing, like I just... I really want to do something.
But you're already halfway up the road, apparently.
I would say after like an hour with them not coming to catch up to us, I would have turned around. Because I can't just leave them.
Well, it's only been like 15 minutes, so...
Oh, well, in that case, yeah, I'm down the road.
Yeah. All right, so...
I'm kind of keeping an eye back there, watching them.
Okay.
But I ain't walking
All
up
right,
the
so
road.
let's just start luring the dog then, Quercus.
Okay.
All right, so that's what we do. We start luring the dog with treats.
Okay, why doesn't Quercus roll me an animal handling check?
After 15 minutes of them not catching up, I would really slow down the pace.
Oh, 12.
12 is better than 4,
This is better than 4.
and you are brandishing a treat, so I gave you a bonus for that. The dog kind of perks up and is slightly intimidated, not as intimidated it would be as if it was a normal breed of dog. These are larger dogs, so you're not as huge as you theoretically could be, but it recognizes the treats and absolutely kind of starts trotting over and cautiously sniffing at your ginormous hand.
Okay. Good dog. Good boy / girl. Come this way. There's a good chap-ess. Come. And I'll edge quietly out down the trail that we came in on.
Okay. No one seems to bother you. No ruckus has risen in the camp or anything. And a few minutes later, you feel like you are all free and clear with a large puppy.
Oh, thank you, Quercus, so much for helping me.
Right, I'll hand you back the dog treats, and you better go on. Give him a few to make sure he realizes you're the master. Not myself.
I will, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I know that this was like kind of a hasty thing that I got you into, but you just rolled with it like it was no big deal.
But
Fun. Yes, this is partly why I'm with you, humans. You are exciting, even if I'm not sure I'm doing the correct thing half the time.
You're an excellent dog thief.
Oh, that's is that commendable or not?
You're an excellent dog liberator.
Dog liberated. There we go.
Yeah.
I think the elders would prefer that terminology.
It sounds much more heroic.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Okay, I'm a loyal for the fourth age.
You are. You are. Thank you so much. Now I just have to think up a name for this dog. I'm going to think about that while we walk.
Yes.
so as you travel,
No.
What?
They catch up with us.
uh-huh.
I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna take a minute into the woods. I just gotta go relieve myself.
Do not set anything on fire.
I'm gonna sneak off into the
He
woods.
set something on fire.
Pimur, we have just stolen their dog, liberated their dog. You can't go attracting attention.
I'll just be a
to
minute.
us.
I just need to relieve myself. Go ahead. Just keep on up the rope. Go ahead. Gotta go relieve myself. I want to sneak back to within eyeshot
Okay.
of Raylan's fucking wagon.
Okay.
And I want to cast heat metal on the parts of the wagon in the undercarriage that join one of the wheels to the axle until it's bending out of shape under the weight of the thing and possibly setting the wood on fire. I'm not sure exactly if it would be structurally fucked up before it set the wood on fire or after, but I want to heat it to like red hot bending. He's not going anywhere today. I'm totally fine if it sets the wagon on fire as well. Just one wheel, just the back wheel.
So roll me an Arcana check.
Ugh, you're gonna make me fucking roll for it after I give you that beautiful description. Fuck. Nope. Well, that's what I want to do. I have a very specific plan.
You're staring at it, and anybody who could see the source around you would see it sputtering, and you start, but you're not holding it. It's basically fits and starts. So it's times like this that make it more frustrating because you have a target, you know what you want to do, but it's just slipping through your grasp still.
Fuck. Okay, I'll do that until I get a headache. It's just probably like 10, 15 minutes. And then I guess I'm gonna sneak back through the woods and not tell anyone how that went.
Okay.
Which I guess they'll all wonder what the fuck I was for 20 minutes.
I mean, maybe your tummy hurt from breakfast. They don't have to know.
So I'll just catch up and not say anything. You may continue now, sir.
Okay, so you travel. Lance would know you're about a full day out from the watch post. So you're gonna have to spend one more night out in the field, and then about midday tomorrow you will arrive.
And there's a new dog with us too, huh?
Yeah.
There is a new dog.
Hey, Mina.
Yeah. What?
What's its name?
I'm still thinking about it.
Okay. I'm gonna call
I usually have female dogs, so I have like female names picked out, but I don't have like a boy name picked out yet.
He's a fluffer puppers.
He's such a good boy.
Fluffer Pupperz it is. Okay. Just trying to see how I can mess up the name again.
Maybe I won't give him a name. Maybe only he knows his name.
Is this
so
like
rude.
the secret name of cats?
Yes. That's actually exactly what I was thinking of.
So
At
with
this
that,
point, Quercus will be... Sorry, I will just start bombarding Amena with scientific names for trees in the hope that she picks one of them for the
Oh, yes. Throw some at me, because that's a giant dog, like a giant tree.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, this is... If you're willing to accept a arboreal-based name for your dog, then...
I'm open
then
to
I have some great
considering
ideas for you.
arboreal-based names for my giant dog, yes.
upon hearing these big words being thrown around, I'm just gonna... Hey, Pimur, shall we continue?
Indeed. Shall we?
I'm gonna kind of look around at the different markers. Yeah. The things so you know where you're
However, we
at.
know where we're going.
Yeah, landmarks. That one. Look at the landmarks and go, I think we're gonna have to stay one more night. And this time we've got a dog that's probably gonna howl at the moon.
I mean,
Awesome.
I don't think these kinds of dogs howl at the moon.
They're pretty chill. They weren't howling last night and there was a moon.
Well, yeah, but last night everyone was smoking the Two Rivers tobacco. You think the dogs weren't getting secondhand?
I don't think dogs get high.
No, dogs love that shit.
See?
Dogs
Do they?
love
See?
that shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have hung out with many a dog who will ask for weed when the humans are consuming it. It's a thing. It's a total thing. And there's dogs that will turn away and absolutely not take it. Like, there are preferences.
Well, my dog is one of those dogs.
I can believe it. The big Borfy hippie dogs, they love that shit.
So if we don't have any Two Rivers
The
tobacco,
dog's name is Borf, is what I'm
Borfy McBorf.
A dog like Borf needs like a bandana around its neck. This dog is not one of those dogs.
I was
This
envisioning a
is not
dog with
one
a
of-
bandana around its neck when I said that, so that's appropriate.
I've known some hippies in my time.
So yeah, I'm just gonna make conversation with Lance about I wonder what strange people we're gonna meet tonight on this journey, because we found, yeah. I'm just very curious what we're gonna end up with tonight.
so if I know we're a day out from the post, that would be common traveling ground for the Children of the Light. So would I know of some kind of camping area or like overnight safe spot along this road? Because we know it's well traveled.
Yes. Go ahead and roll me the history check.
I don't wanna.
Well, I'm sorry.
17. I do want to.
There's the fourth age equivalent of like an RV stop along the way. It's just a small clearing that's got a small spring in it, so it's pretty well traveled by people making their way through the road. If you were to reach it tonight, it would be a little early. So you'd probably end up stopping for the day at about 5 or 5:30.
Okay, so I'm gonna look over at Pimur and be like, so we got two choices.
Yeah.
I know this really nice area where we could stop. It's got the spring and like flat ground where we could go. Or we could continue on, be closer to getting there sooner, but I don't necessarily know where to camp. But if we stop first, then we're stuck with the big names for the dog for longer. But we get time to cook real food, so...
I mean, I'm enjoying this trip out. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. So let's stop somewhere couchy. I mean, we can always go on a walk around the campsite and, like, you know, I don't know, target practice.
Oh, target practice!
Time for target practice. Yes.
All right, yes, we're stopping.
Totally stopping.
And then as we're going along, if I notice, like, any kind of anything that would work really well for target practice, I'm, like, going to stop, or we're going to, like, trade spots on who's actually got the reins and toss things into the cart for, like, this is going to be so cool to blow up.
Yes. It's going to be awesome. Leave the smarty pants to their naming whatevers. We'll go blow shit up.
Yes. Hi. I don't owe you any money anymore, right?
We'll see what kind of betting trouble we get up into over this target practice.
Fair.
What sort of stuff are you looking for? Just like tree branches and things?
Tree branches or, you know...
What would be a good...
Oh...
Rocks are bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, when I go for target practice, I'm always grabbing, like, pieces of chopped wood. So, you know, I don't know. Why are you asking the hard questions?
Yeah, we'll probably just be picking up, like, limbs and stuff. Cool. Like ones that are broad enough to, like, give, like, a good, like, dinner plate sort of target. Yeah.
Roll me a perception check, both of you.
11.
I know those are trees over there because I got an 8.
Pimur's able to find a couple that would probably suitably work, but not too many. This is a fairly well-traveled road, so that sort of stuff isn't very common.
So I'm gonna look over at Pimur and be like, you know, I'm really glad I didn't take that bet on who would find more. Thanks for,
Yeah, no problem. We can maybe, like, if we eat a big dinner, we can empty out one of the supply crates and use that as a target.
Yeah,
Children's property? Is it the property of the children?
Yeah, yeah. I can't let my first assignment be a complete failure.
All right.
Or even necessarily a partial failure, because I like to get paid, because if I get paid, then you get paid.
All right. So the rest of the time seems to pass without any... You don't even see anybody else on the road. It's very quiet, very sort of regular wagon travel-ish. And then right about dinner time, an early dinner time, you see the markings that the children have left for the way off to the campsite, essentially, or the waypoint. And everybody is stopping for the night, assumedly, or are you guys continuing
We're
on?
stopping.
Yeah.
Well,
the wagon's
Pimur
stopping.
and I and the wagon and the horse are stopping.
Very wise plan.
What Mr. Longlegs over there and the one who's got the new pony dog thing to ride, they can do whatever. I want to see how this new gun thing he has works.
Yes. You have to try out the range. We gotta, like, you know, see who can reload them faster. Like, we have some work to do.
Oh, no. I'm not touching it. It's not who can do it faster.
Oh.
It's all you.
You need to learn these skills. You know, the children are going to need firearms at some point. It's the way of the future.
Well, yeah, we'll leave that with the archers, but I look around there. I don't have a bow. I'm going to pull out the new sword. Shiny sword. We're going to shoot the sword.
What? Why would we do that?
Because the sword won't break, or if it breaks, then I know that the one guy's lied to us, but you guys, yeah, we're gonna shoot the sword and see if we can, like, cut the bullets.
Wow, that's gonna be a hell of a trick shot.
Right?
I'm so down. Because Pimur makes bad choices.
And I know from experience that is something that can happen.
What, people being idiots or splitting bullets on the edges of swords?
Splitting bullets with swords without breaking the swords.
Yes, if you're an amazing shot or you have things stabilized like on.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna stable. No, I'm just gonna like
Hold it.
I'm gonna toss it up at the right moments.
I meant the weapon. Like every time they did it in Mythbusters, the gun itself was stable on a platform. It was all scientifically aimed. Yes.
Oh, see, the ones I was watching, they had the sword like stabilized and everything, and then it was one of the military guys who was taking the shot by hand.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're a good enough shot, I suppose.
Yeah, I am not. Pimur needs to be.
Yes, Pimur does need to be.
So what are Amena and Quercus doing as these two excitedly, like, you pull into the campsite and they don't even start getting stuff ready for the night. They just immediately run over to one side of the campsite, stick Lance's new sword in the ground, and start prepping the pistol or the musket?
I mean the pistol, because it would have a shorter range, and that'll,
Okay.
Well, if we are stopped here for any length of time, I am going to distance myself from the two hooligans in the crowd and wander off into the trees to continue some of my botanical explorations, which have been rather lacking in recent days.
Okay. What about Amena?
I'm just gonna kind of sit here with my dog and feed him and pet him and, just kind of establish more of a relationship with him and watch them do whatever the hell it is that they're doing over there.
Pimur, I need you to roll an attack roll with your pistol.
Okay. I think it's the first time I've actually shot it. 20.
Okay.
Not natural, but
Damn.
still.
It's still, so you take aim, you back off, you fire. It hits the sword. The sword does not break.
Oh my god, okay.
I need an investigation check to see if you can find the pieces of the bullet.
Okay.
Can I help?
And I should also take my bullet count down.
Yes, if Lance is going to help, Pimur can do it at advantage.
I got an 18, so
Do you want to roll for the 20?
yes, but I will fail to get the 20. I will get a 15 instead, so 18.
All right, so you do find part of the bullet. It doesn't look like it split it directly in half, but it did cleave part of it off. So it can cut bullets, technically.
Dude, your sword cuts bullets!
Dude, you hit my sword.
I know, right? That was awesome. Let's do it again.
I'm just gonna have this like the facial expressions of the realization of I could be fucked really bad if I piss her off or him off. Shit, let's do it again.
You've got the rounds, so you can. And I imagine as Quercus is just looking out among the various flora and fauna of the campsite, just randomly hearing bang in the background.
Right, exactly. I know that as a botanist and a forester, whilst I'm in forest ecosystems, I get advantage, or I get some extra ability to sense the correct answer on any insights that are related to intelligence or wisdom. And I'm thinking to myself, can I calculate quite how stupid those two are? And are they more stupid when acting together than individual?
Is it quantifiable? that is the true question.
Well, I think it also depends on the situation. Last night got really, really high. We've been on the road forever, and I know as soon as I get to that post that I'm gonna have to go right back into like dead serious. So this is like last night on vacation kind of party fun thing. So
How many rounds do you use in your target practice?
Now, let's see if you can shoot how many bullets in, and then clean the thing and reload it before dinner's gonna get ready or the light's gonna fail. So, I mean, until sundown, basically.
So let me roll a random die to see how many that is. I'm going to roll a d12 and see how many shots you use. That's wrong. So that's too low. So we'll say you use 7.
Okay.
7 rounds. You might just keep track of how many rounds you have
I just counted
expended.
down. And we have lots of fun. Lots of bang. Much boomstick.
I'm not sure who's making dinner if the two of you are off being nincompoops and Amena's playing with her dog and Quercus is out wandering around.
we have travel rations for a reason.
Yeah, jerky. It's food.
Well, eventually, I will come back to camp and maybe start slicing up some things to roast over a campfire, which shouldn't be too difficult to put together, seeing as there is ample supply of dead wood nearby, and it wasn't raining earlier. So I'll start on dinner and yell over to Pimur and Lance to display slightly more intelligence than they have been recently, and going to have something to eat.
So how many times did Pimur hit the sword? Was it just the once, or?
That's a good. So, Pimur, why don't you go ahead and roll me? We'll distill it down to 2 rolls. So roll me 2 d20s, roll 2 attack rolls, and we'll sort of average them out.
Okay. 1 roll, 2 rolls, 10 and a natural 20.
Oh, son of shit! You're on top of your freaking. You're basically hitting it every time. You're just cleaning, bang, ding, cleaning, bang, ding, cleaning, bang, ding. Like, yeah, no, it's.
Which makes me feel really good after the whole failure with the power earlier. Like, this just proves my point that guns are superior to the power. Why would I use the power? Guns are clearly better.
As we're walking back, you use 7 bullets?
Yes.
So I'm just gonna like reach into my pouch and just count out 7 because she hit every single one. You will never. And like this time, I'm not even begrudging about it. It's just like, no, here, like that was so cool.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And your sword's really all right.
Yeah, I'm
it's
just
like
gonna,
actually genuinely cool.
Look at. Yeah, we probably did more damage to your bullets than I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Dude.
All right.
That's awesome. We should make this into like a real party trick. Yeah.
Around people where you get stage nervous.
Nervous? Who gets nervous? That's silly.
And who can't who can't channel all the time?
The power is clearly inferior to this, which I'm clearly awesome at. I don't need the stupid power.
Right. However, it is now dark, and your ability to see things in the dark is rapidly waning. So, Pimur, come and sit down and have something to eat. You are clearly the best shot amongst us, and I'm sure that you've got ample supplies more of those bullets, so you weren't wasting any at all whilst you were having fun out there. Come and sit down and have something to eat.
Fine. But Quercus, seriously, like, and I do the Quercus thing, but about firearms and about how you have to account for the crossbreeds when you're shooting, and like you have to close one eye, but like, you know, just the whole. I'm just gonna out Quercus you when it comes to guns while I'm eating.
Ooh.
Your turn to smile and nod.
Yes, I can be impressed with someone else who's interested in their field, getting enthusiastic about it.
Okay, and you're able to sit down and you have dinner. And it all seems pretty nice and quiet. And eventually the time comes where you want to start to think about going to bed because you probably want an early start to make up for stopping a little bit early tonight. So is there going to be a watch schedule, or are you all just taking a nap and knowing that it's safe and trusting Lance's knowledge of the children?
I'll take the first watch because last time you guys let me sleep all night.
I'll take a watch. We're in the woods.
And I will take third watch as well, just to make sure that those tinkers don't sneak up asking for their dog back.
All right, so Amena, go ahead and give me a perception check.
A 9.
You're doggy. Porky bark, bark, bark. Nothing happens, but you're not really sure that you would notice anyway because you're getting, and he seems to be taking to you like a fish to water. Like he is.
We're soulmates.
Sort of naturally already learning to heal. He keeps right next to you, communicating with his eyes exactly what he wants, and you pick up on it. Like
he's like the smartest dog ever, of course, and the most handsome.
Of course, you would pick the smart dog.
And the pretty one.
Duh. Beauty and brains. Hello.
Hello. Takes after his mama, obviously.
So she's got the dog that's really, really smart, and like they're getting along really well. You've got the really, really good shot. I have a sword that doesn't break, and Quercus?
I have an eagle. I have this wonderful cloak as well.
That's a good point, but it's not white, so, you know.
How do you know it's not white?
Actually, it's true. I never specified a color. So, you know.
Actually, it's a golden eagle, so it isn't white. You're right. I forgot.
Oh, I was referring to the cloak.
Oh, okay.
Either way, although neither of them are, I always imagined it as sort of a dusky green, but
Yeah.
it's...
I mean, if it's a white cloak, I might have to liberate it.
Oh, good luck.
Pranking shenanigans. So eventually, Amena looks up from her puppy and realizes it's time for Pimur to stand watch.
Yeah, so my doggy and I just kind of walk over, and I take my finger and I like go down and I point at Pimur's cheek. And he's such a smart dog. He leans down and starts licking Pimur in the face to wake him up.
At first, I'm just like, nice. And then it's like, Oh God! What?
Not a human. Not a human.
Yeah,
Why would
right,
you want
right.
a
That
human to be licking your face?
dreams are weird, man. Dreams are weird.
No
That's all I'm saying.
judgment.
And so I'm gonna wake up and then realize I don't have a name for the dog and just boop him on the snoot because he's such a good pupperz.
Do you want to give him a treat?
Yeah.
You can. Here you go.
Oh,
Here's your
sweet.
little
Thanks.
treat.
So we take a nice 10 minutes to completely not pay attention to anything other than treatifying the pupperz. Because your pupperz. Okay, you two go get some rest. I will watch.
We will rest and not snore at all.
Good luck with that.
All right, Timer, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Wah, wah. It's an 8.
Okay, you're not really you're kind of like angry at the Tinkers, but you're also like, you're getting into the rhythm of cleaning your weapon and really just like, yeah, this is cool. Boomsticks.
Yeah, I'm really, I had a good afternoon with Lance. I had a shitty morning with the whole not being able to set the thing on fire, but like, yeah, that was a good, relaxing, rejuvenating, get away from reality sort of, shooting the shit, except it was a sword, not a pile of shit, but whatever. Yeah, that was great. So then my watch is over. I go wake up Quercus. Mm-hmm. I will go over and wake up Quercus nicely because, I don't have a specific prank in mind tonight.
Pimur.
Hey, tree man.
How good of you to wake me. I hadn't yet settled on which is the best name for Amena's dog yet. I will ponder this whilst I'm keeping watch.
You should definitely slip an insult into it somehow. Just saying.
Oh no, that would be mean.
No, I mean just a nice one. I don't know. You know what? I'll just go to bed. You've got this. I'm sure you've got this.
I've got this, don't worry.
I won't. Don't worry.
I'll sit there wondering what exactly got this means. But,
All right, so I need a perception check from Quercus now as well.
8. Dismal.
Okay. The one thing you do notice, it seems to be a little bit more quiet than normal, than you would assume for this sort of ecosystem that you're currently inhabiting. It's not the end of the world, and it's certainly not abnormal considering that a large, loud firearm has been going off all afternoon. So small animals are probably, hidden and or keeping low.
Okay, so I'll sit there just thinking, this is unusually quiet. Where are all of the insects? I can't hear the insects. I'll just be pondering that for a while whilst everyone else is snoozing. But I am going to wander around the campsite and just make sure that I didn't see any tracks or anything that could indicate someone watching us.
Okay. You don't see anything.
Okay.
And you don't really get the sense of being watched. You're pretty good at knowing when someone is watching you or looking at you, and you're not getting that vibe at all. And the next morning dawns, and you have the morning to yourselves.
Did Lance ever mention the flashing red light on the horizon situation?
Nope.
Okay. Then I will not ask about it.
Because I don't know what it is, and before tonight, we had all the weird stuff going on and enough other, you relaxing.
It's medicinal.
It's prescriptive.
So, no, I haven't told anybody.
Okay. I was going to ask about it, but I mean,
Okay. So it's the morning. You hear the standard bird sounds and small critters moving through the undergrowth. Are you guys getting started right away? Are you doing breakfast and calf first? What's the routine?
Right today, right? You said?
It's not super long. I'd say we're probably, we'd get there. If we took our time and had a slow breakfast today and relaxed and leisurely, we'd probably get there lunch, dinner time.
Let's do that. Instead, I'm not in a rush. The longer we take on this trip, the longer we can avoid Caravan.
So I'm gonna rack my brain for a second. Was I on a deadline? Or
Nope.
was it just get everything there? Okay.
And everything there before the only deadline you had was before the storm.
I'm gonna look up. Is there a storm?
It's overcast, but it is not.
Oh, right, the storm. We're supposed to not get rained on. That's a goal.
Yeah, we went in that one spot where the storm just disappeared, and then we kind of forgot the storm. So
You getting in undercover before a storm would be good.
yeah, I think we're okay because we can always turn up the pace.
I vote for breakfast and calf myself.
It works for me.
I'm always down for breakfast and always down for calf.
Right.
So, yeah. Even out of character.
Did someone mention oatmeal?
We did bring some oatmeal just for you.
And some peanut butter.
Indeed. So yeah, leisurely morning and like, I don't know. Nope, never mind.
I'll be sitting there whilst we're cooking breakfast, just mumbling to myself, so quiet. Why is it so quiet?
What's that, Quercus? Quiet? It's quiet?
Quiet. Didn't you notice whilst you were keeping watch, the forest was too quiet?
There was a ringing in my ears, so...
Oh. The benefits of playing with firearms.
Indeed. But like, how quiet?
Something feels odd. The animals are still there, the birds are still there, even though it's winter, so they are a lot quieter than normal, but everything seems subdued, like it's waiting for something. Or like, I don't know. Like things are hiding.
I'm gonna look around like spidey senses now that Quercus has made me think about it. Like, I don't know what I could percept, but now I'm curious and I'm looking around trying to see what he's talking about.
Go with the percepting.
Okay. I will perceptify. 19.
Ooh, nice.
Which isn't bad, but you also don't have the same familiarities with the natural world as Quercus does. So to you, sounds fine. You hear birds, you hear wildlife. It's a bit overcast, but you don't understand what he could mean.
Okay. Well, I will just say, well, I think we should be on our guard. I don't know what we should be on our guard for, but just don't relax completely. Something doesn't feel quite right.
All right. I'm like peering down our back trail, like Tinker's coming for their dog. Like, what's going on?
And I'm just gonna like have my cup of calf and just sort of like wander over and sit down next to Quercus and say, so did you think of any names for my dog? Because I have a few.
Oh, tell.
Yeah. Okay. So one that I thought of was Amen. I think that's kind of a cool name for a dog. And then Ashendari would be another cool one.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
I like Ashendari. I think Amon might be rather too close to the previous head of the White Cloaks during the Third Age. He didn't have quite such a good reputation.
I'm going to perk up when I hear White Cloak history. Wait, what?
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Thank you. I kind of forgotten about that.
Ashendari I like very much indeed.
It's a good one, right? And then the other one I thought was
Yeah.
Gaiden, because he could be like my warder.
Yes,
kind
that's
of.
appropriate. But what happens when you get a warder?
Well, I would just call him by his name, like Bob or Frank or whatever his name is.
Okay,
Get the most boring warder that exists.
I would go with Ashendari.
Yeah.
We don't want everything in this camp to be named after a tree. That would be that would start to become cult-like. I don't want to develop a cult following.
A tree cult following. That would be dangerous.
It would be.
You would be very good at leading a cult, Amena.
Of trees. If I can get trees to follow me, then I've won. So, but just out of curiosity, what tree names did you come up with?
You know, I was thinking I like Picea, which is the genus for spruces. I also like Shoria, which is one of the larger dipterocarp groups.
Dipterocarp, you say?
Yes. They don't grow much around here. I've never seen one. They are from further to the south. I also like Sylvaticus.
Oh!
That, I think, is more of a male name than a female name.
Sylvaticus. That sounds very, I don't know, gladiator-like.
I would go with Ashendari.
Okay. Yeah. Is it Ashendari or Ashendari?
I would say it's pronounced however you prefer to pronounce it.
Aw, I like you. We're going to be such good friends.
And so the cult begins.
Well, we got two different cults, though. We've got Amena's cult, and then we've got the gunpowder cult.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a cult. I would just say it's more like an affectionate following.
The Amena Liberation Front.
Not the Liberation Front of Amena. The Amena Liberation Front.
Heimer and Amena are really good friends. Quercus and Amena are really good friends.
We'll see. So yeah, Ashendari. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Thank you, Quercus.
You're welcome. This is naming one's pet is a momentous occasion.
I agree. It shouldn't be done lightly without lots of thought.
Exactly. We should treat animals as, we should treat them with, if anything, more kindness than we treat other humans, particularly ones whose care we are charged with. It is not something to be taken lightly to own and guard an animal. So as they are vulnerable and effectively under our protection, we need to treat them with even more respect than other humans who are free to make their own choices.
I agree with you. I agree. I knew when we had that whole bear situation that you and I were going to be very much on the same page.
Again, another example of liberation.
Yes. And luring with food.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
We have a brand.
So I need to never be hungry.
So as you travel throughout the day, you crest a small rise and you eventually see the watch post. And it's a dual layer construction, but it's a little interesting. It's meant to be a way station for not only the children of the light, but also for visitors. It's like a stagecoach stop. So you have a lower level that is pretty much an open courtyard walled in with stone with individual stalls for animals and a storage area for horses. In one corner of the courtyard, you basically have a raised building on effectively stilts that both serves a function as a fallback position in case of war, but also where there's a tavern and there's rooms for people to sleep in. And it's the courtyard is walled in and it's got gates, so it can all be enclosed at night. So you're seeing this sort of wall of stone, and then you're seeing the building that's only really in one corner of it kind of sticking up also as forming sort of part of a second story. Lance, go ahead and roll me a perception check as you approach the way station.
15.
Okay. As you're getting in closer, you're noticing there are arrows stabbed into the double wooden doors and also the area around the doors. There are scorch marks on different parts of the walls, and some of the vegetation looks like it's been burned away.
So, but nothing else looks out of the ordinary aside from...
You don't really see anything else, no.
So I'm gonna take note of it as we're going in, but if nothing else, like if no one's reacting to it, then wait, red in the sky. Yeah, I'm gonna kick it up and get inside.
Okay. Are you saying anything to anybody, or are you just kicking it up a notch? And
at this point, I'm just kicking it up a notch because, like, you know, military takes over. These guys are civilians. That's my destination, and I suddenly have visions of Mulan.
If he speeds up, I keep up with him.
Okay. As you're approaching about 5 yards in front of the wagon, as you're approaching and starting to speed up, there's a tuft of dirt just kind of flies up, and you hear bang coming from the upper part of the wall, and you hear a voice calling, "Stand and be recognized."
Do you want me to shoot him?
I'm going to stop, and I'm going to look at Pimur and be like, no, it's okay. I'm going to stand up on the bench where the cart driver sits and make sure to flourish the white cloak and then announce myself as Lieutenant Lance Akashi.
Sergeant.
Lieutenant? Sergeant.
You're all right. All right. Recently promoted. You don't get it yet.
Sergeant Lance Akashi.
And from on the other side of the wall, you hear, "Light, blast it, Laud, he's one of ours." And then there's a creaking, and you hear exertions, and it sounds like someone's lifting up the brace from behind the doors. And the doors swing open, and there's another child standing there with a goatee and mustache, and he also bears the silver rank of a sergeant.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
And he says, "Oh, light bless you. Hurry, get inside. The Trollocs might come again."
What?
And that is where we close the book for now. Come join us next time on Just Roll With It.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you enjoying Just Roll With It? Do you want to keep up with all of the shenanigans and updates and maybe interact with us online? Follow us on Twitter at @just_roll or Instagram at @justrowlwithapodcast with underscores between each word. Are you interested in maybe earning cool gaming dice or other awesome perks? Our Patreon is patreon.com/JRWI. We use Sirenscape for all of our sound effects and are a production of Fox and Raven Media. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Fuck.
Trollocs?
Fucking Trollocs. They haven't been seen since the last age. What is this shit?
Do they think Ogier are Trollocs?
Oh.
You know, I was really glad to come do this for the escapism, and then I forgot you liked doing the cliffhangers, and man.